DEFOSTO. Boom boom boom. I'm hearing.
Boom 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 boom. That's the idea. Boom 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 boom. Now we're playing pang pang and a happy tang tang is the bass line in me.
Now I saw you playing pan on TV last year in the Calypso Monarch finals. You are a pan man, and when the concept of the bass line came to your head, I'm sure you were not thinking of a bassman that was playing in Roy K band, but you were seeing a bassman playing pan, weren't you?
Well, obviously yes, but when you look at bass line, we only use the illustration where pan is concerned, but obviously bass is bass in any language. It could be pan, or it could be bass, it could be upright bass, it could be, you know, any kind of bass. We talk about bass line. The magic that can be worked where a bass is concerned. But as for the pan, you know, obviously I try to bring out the best in the bass where pan is concerned. So the people get a greater illustration from a pan domain point of view.
So it's a great message with enough rhythm and enough beat so that you can create an impact at the SOCA Monarch.
Obviously, I am, you know, this is going to be a fine competition, and I am not afraid of any of the competitors. I do respect them all, and at the same time would like to wish them all the best in this particular competition. But obviously, once you're judging the competition with the criteria that have been stipulated, I think they can be out for a lot of trouble, because bassline alone obviously is one of the best melodies in the competition.
You ever tried to apply for the job as a diplomat in the Trinidad and Tobago government?
You know, I have been asked this question before, and I said no. I only prepare myself for eventualities such as this one. You know, just to be able to be interviewed and try to understand what is happening and be a part of it and enjoy it to the fullest.
The concept of thought in Calypso, how much it means to you and how much time you spend working on thought, putting the process into words, is a great part of DEFOSTO, obviously.
Obviously, my name is the original DEFOSTO himself. That is my sobriquet, right? That is the original DEFOSTO himself. So, DEFOSTO is the type of person, individual who look for a different musical ideology to establish, whether it's for pan or for party, whatever the case might be. You won't get DEFOSTO doing like everybody else. When you hear my music, it's going to be different. It's going to be always different. I mean, I don't really strive for this difference. This difference is just natural. I guess it's because of my aura, because of the person that I am, because of my inward-outward personality, that kind of music obviously flows naturally, comes out almost simultaneously, spontaneously.
I'm going to provoke you a little now.
No problem.
Trinidad and Tobago is a land of Calypso, but New York is the bedrock of Calypso. True or false?
True or false? I would say false and true. I reverse it. Well, because of the fact why I'm saying false and true is because here, Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, to a large extent, is the mecca of Calypso, pan and Calypso. New York is obviously West Indians who took this art form with them, however best they could have established it into the outside world, into the international markets, has been able to do a fantastic job by doing so. And this much I appreciate. So I think it is true to say that they keep the flag of culture flying wherever they go. So then that is true.
But the artist himself, the artist who doesn't have the opportunity of being in New York to further his career and stays in Trinidad, the authorities and the promoters do not seem to pay as much homage as, say, the Calypsonian who is based in New York and is spreading his wings from there. True or false again?
Well, that could be true. And the reason why it might be true or true is because of the fact that, well, Calypso in our country, steel band and Calypso, seems, even though it's not supposed to be seasonal anymore, but as you'll realize, it is still being dominated by a particular segment of the year, which is between December and February or March. If there's a late season, you get more of the music in its totality. Self-expression is being able to exploit itself in volume out of that particular season. Even though if you hear Calypso or steel band is not as regularly, there's an irregular amount of play that is going to be taking place at that particular point in time in the year, out of the carnival season. But we are trying to do much better to make it a year-round thing. As you would realize that we are playing soca right through the year. but not as effective as we normally do in the carnival season.
I have been in Trinidad for the past 3 days now, and I've been fiddling through up and down the FM channels. And what I am hearing is a 98% of jam, soca, jump up and wave. And I know that there are Kaisonians up there who are singing the traditional Kaiso, and I am not hearing them. Do I have a problem, or is it a problem of the DJs, or is it a more complex problem than that?
That is a very vital question you're asking, and a ticklish one at it. Well, to say if it's a problem of the DJs would be to say then the DJs of the day, the commercial type DJs who would normally play more of the up-tempo jam and wine type of stuff. And this seems to be helping their program, their station, whether if it's Tempo 105 or 98.9, however the case might be. But a certain kind of music seems to do better for their business around this time of the year. But I think it is true to say then that if we keep it going the particular way that we have it going, then we are going to lose something traditionally, culturistically, to create a term. We are going to lose something where the indigenous music are concerned, that type of soca or calypso that lend a certain sort of inspiration to a nation or to people at large. And if we don't have that, if that is lost in the whole jam and wine thing, then obviously we are not going to build a society of a certain level of equality, but they are going to be more or less a society of more type of people who would be sort of bacchanalist.
But you have to realize, play Mr. Panis play, right? No work for carnival. These are not soca, that is Kaiso.
Of course.
And they made an impact.
Calypso is not always a music that must be played slow for it to be calypso. Calypso have various moods.
But it
varies.
It's not a jump up and wave, but it still created an impact.
Definitely.
So then all is not lost.
All is not lost. What I'm saying, okay, for instance, take bassline.
Right.
Bassline does get a natural impact. It has a natural impact where the people are concerned. It is infectious because the music is spiritual. There's an element to the music that interfere with the pulse of the people. So this is why that kind of calypso, being calypso, rutical calypso, rhythmic calypso, that stands out predominantly in the scheme of things in all the jam and wine. Because when everybody starts a jam and wine and they drop a bass line in the middle of that with conscious lyrics that has to do with the steel pan fraternity or music on a whole, obviously it has a different impact, and an impact where the people now have to listen to something of substance. So it don't necessarily have to be slow dominantly. It can be up-tempo and still carry the spirit of carnival, as you rightfully said, without having the jam and wine aspect attached to it, as the case might be.
Give me the bass line again now.
Boom boom bim 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 boom 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 bim.
Original DeFosto himself. Yes,
Listen, now we're playing pang pang and a happy tang tang is the bass line.
DeFosto.
This is the original DeFosto himself for CultureShare. Big it up, fellas, always. You're doing a fantastic job. Keep the flag of soca flying high, always, wherever you go. May God bless you.